Hey y'all, I'm Shawana.
I'm Krystal.
And we got a little something to talk to y'all about today. And the hot subject is whether women should go to college to get a higher education or just prepare for motherhood and being wives.
Woo!
Hell no. But what do you think?
I think that both sides could be argued.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you where I fall yet.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell you what I think of both sides.
Okay.
So I think it is wrong to say that a woman should not pursue higher education because we don't know what God has put on anybody's heart.
Right.
But and if she chose not to go and get a higher education, she could be disobeying what God had put on her heart. Mm-hmm. On the other side of that, if you marry a man who is also working full time, then what gives? Does the wife give? Does the husband give? Or do the kids give? Who takes the consequence of the choice that both are out of the home full time pursuing a career?
So what if the wife brings home the bacon? What if she decided to get a career and her husband has a career, but she makes the most money in the relationship? Would you have said that the man shouldn't have went and got a degree and he should be a stay-at-home dad?
I mean, should he? I think the answer is yes.
It's hard to generalize, a statement like that when this day and age it could go both ways.
It could.
I think it's up to the individual. If you desire for a higher education, then by all means, boo, because you can always quit. You can always take an hiatus. If you have children, you can always say, "Hey, I'm stay-at-home mama for the next, 5-6 years till my babies go to school, and then I'll go back to work." You still have options.
Right.
I don't think just to say, no, you shouldn't get a degree. I don't want to be kept either.
Right.
So in the event that you want to act a donkey and leave, I need to be able to make my own money.
Yeah. So what would you say if you had like your closest friend and she and her husband, like good marriage, they got 3 kids, beautiful family. They desire family to be like a priority in their flow, but they're both working full time. They're both running super hard. They're making the same amount of money.
Okay.
And one of them could afford to quit if they scaled back.
Okay.
And the kids obviously do not have enough time with them. What would you say to your girlfriend?
Then it would probably be a hard conversation of one of y'all needs to quit. Like at that point, it becomes more about that family unit. And in that moment, it doesn't have anything to do with her getting the degree. It's, okay, this is where we are right now. And right now, our family is suffering. So who's going to make that sacrifice? And who does it make more sense to make that sacrifice?
Right. Yeah.
Like, for instance, if they both had full-time jobs, make the same amount of money, but one of them had to travel for their job, well, it would make more sense that maybe you quit so you don't have to be gone.
Right.
And you stay home. You know what I mean? So you just kind of have to weigh in that situation because it's going to be different in every situation that there is, But, it just goes back to say, I don't think that she should not have gotten a degree.
Right.
It's just, your degree going to be there.
Right.
It's never going to go away. It's not going to disappear just because you don't work in your field for, 3, 4, 5 years. I think you still have that option.
Yeah.
But I think you have to make the correct decision and the sound decision and pray about it and figure out what's best for your family at that time.
Right.
But I tell her, if she was in the position, girl, stay at home. Enjoy your family.
Yeah.
Because them kids grow up way too fast.
Yeah.
And you're going to wish that you had,
Yeah.
So.
I think the question itself, like, should a woman pursue a degree?
Higher education. Yeah.
Higher education. And then obviously you would do that to get a really good paying job.
Right.
That's why you go to college, most people. Some people want a ring. Some people
right.
just want to hang out. But the goal is to get a really good degree. But I think the underlying big question is, at what point would you be willing to sacrifice that if your priorities aren't in line? And will your priorities ever be in line if your immediate first goal is chasing that career path? And then if you're married to someone who also is there, at what point is it created in our system for a woman to be okay to be like, I think I need to take a step back? Because our culture is go, elevate, get better, run harder, run faster.
Right. Well, I think it's a maturity thing at that point to say, I better not have kids right now because right now my goal is family.
Right.
You know. So
but thank God.
Well, you know, but hey, God might be like, I'm laughing because you made a plan, so I'm about to switch all that just because you said what you was gonna do, and I'm not. That's not what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But you know, if you can prevent that from happening, you know, if you know it deep down, hey, I'm career focused right now. Maybe children didn't our best. I'm not saying not get married, but hey, this is what I'm focusing on right now. Mm-hmm. Then try to stay in that lane. If it doesn't happen, then you got to make that hard decision because your kids come first at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's hard for a lot of women.
I think it's so. Fred and I, we're kind of in a place of like unwinding. Not any intention to not put our kids first, but how naturally life unfolds. You got to make money, and that demand can overtake priorities if you're not like super aligned to like keep them.
Right.
And so I think the biggest call on me right now is like, God gave me giftings to put into business, to come alongside people. I'm very operational and systems and everything. And so that is a God-given gift, but it's not for Krystal.
Right.
And if I'm in line, God, my husband, my children, then that gift is for God, for my husband, and for my children, and then other people. Right. So like, how could I be using that gift for my children? And I'll tell you right now, in complete authenticity, I could grow tenfold. Like, we're homeschooling, how operational and system-minded I can think in a business format. I struggle to bring that into my home because my brain is fried by the time it's time to bring it into my home. I've been up at 4, grinding, using that mental space, and then they get up. I'm supposed to homeschool them, and I'm like, oh, let's just go for a walk, and which is great, good thing, but like, there's no structure to our days right now because I'm fried. So even in that, I didn't pursue and get a college education, but I am operating in the workforce at a high level. And to this day, I still struggle to surrender the natural flow of output to the world versus output to my family. So I think if you then spend $80,000 to get your degree, how much harder? Like, I don't have $80,000 in debt for a college degree, but it's still hard. So I think the more you input into that journey, the harder it will be to pull back and shift totally. So I think just entering into the college education field with awareness of like, what am I ultimately wanting from my life? Do I want to be single, run hard, use my giftings for God in this avenue? Or do ultimately, like, do I desire to have a husband and children? And if I do, like, that needs to continue to be something I think through as I elevate and make this a big part, you know?
That's true. I think it comes from your standpoint, because like I have a degree, but my degree was in a creative field. So thank God I was always able to do freelance and do other things on the side at home that didn't necessarily take me out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, so and even with, again, thank God, he would always put me in situations to where even though I was a single mom, I was still able to go get my child. I was still able to kind of have freedom and flexibility in my schedule. I never had those tight demands. Thank God I never had to punch the clock, because Lord knows I'd have been fired from every job. I don't get no work on time. But
or to work out, so I hear.
Never. I always had like a 30-minute threshold. Whatever job I had, just get here between 9 and 9:30, Shawana.
Got you.
Got you. You know. So, but even where I work now, you know, screen printing shop, I'm able to go pick up Kyle when I need to. I'm able to leave. I'm able to go take him to his appointment. So, even though I do have that degree, and sometimes I kind of feel like I probably not spending as much time as I need to, because it's in a creative field, because I can be productive and not necessarily be in somebody's shop or somebody's office or whatever, then I see where, yeah, you can have a degree and still run a business. You can still have a degree and run a business and have a job. You can still do and be a mom all simultaneously, but that's coming from my standpoint. Now, if I was in the medical field or anything else, it'd be a totally different. Yeah, it'd be a totally different scenario. So,
and even still, the medical field, I feel like, is the direct hands and feet of the Lord if you're surrendered. Like, there's such a need for that. And if a woman feels called to that, I think there's space for her to do that. So I think we both land on ultimately, like, what are our priorities based on, like, what we want for our life? And, like, how do we maintain the integrity of that while we have to make money, while we want to perform in other areas of our life?
Exactly. And sometimes that means I don't get married and have children until I'm 40. You know, maybe I get all that out of the way first, you know, get my career. And then I look at familyhood. Some people do it the exact opposite. They start, you know, families early, and then once their kids graduate, then they go back to school, you know. So
True.
I think you can't generalize it.
Right.
Because I think I was saying is you can't say a woman should do this or shouldn't do that. No. Each one, it's an individual point, case, and scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you have it. Should women get a degree? Yes or no? You tell me.
If they want to.
So I would say this, I wish I could be more like, I have a stance here, but I really don't, because I think each person has to surrender their will, their desires to the Lord, and then let him lead step by step. So like, I think if I were that girl that like I desired more than anything and felt the call to be a wife and a mom, I couldn't operate in obedience just waiting. I would just get so impatient on the Lord. And I did that in my singleness. I got very impatient at different times. So for me personally, if that question was posed to me, I would have to pursue something to get my attention off of like, what does Krystal want and when is God going to give it to me? And onto something that is better serving my emotional desire to do that. But on the other hand, I think there are women that like, if they specifically hear from God, like you are meant to be a wife and a mother, and that is what I have for you in this next season. It may be complete distracting from that call if you go and jump into a degree or whatever. So I think there is no like black and white on what a person should do. It's just all based on like what the Lord has said to them and how they feel like they need to walk in obedience to that being said.
I agree with that. I think too, I mean, college is expensive. And so if you don't know what you want to do, if God told you, hey, if you've gotten that message that, hey, I want to be a stay-at-home mom and this is what I want, and I have no idea what I would do in college, don't waste your money.
Right.
You know, like walk in that, live in that. And if that does not come in due time, maybe by that time you have began to understand yourself, know yourself, experience the world, and figure out what it is that you want to do. And then you can go to school, you know. Like, I don't believe in wasting money, you know, either, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are there women that prefer to be? Yeah, you know, and to me, if that's your desire, God knows the desires of your heart. It'll come when it's supposed to. You know, like, we get impatient, but then it's not on our timing. It's on His timing. You know, so if that's what you want to be, you need to equip yourself and put yourself in position to be a stay-at-home wife. You know, and that means you still have to have your stuff together too.
Right.
You know,
continue to be sanctified. Continue to know Jesus.
Exactly, and be able to bring something to the table. You need to know how to cook. You need to know how to clean. You need to know how to do the things to be a stay-at-home wife. You know, you need to be nurturing. You need to be good with kids. Like, you know, there's things that you still have to possess, a quality you still have to possess. Because I don't know no man that would have a stay-at-home wife and come home every day and the house is nasty and he eating Domino's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that would be a miss.
well, that would be.
If that is you, we're not judging you.
No,
we don't know
judgment.
your life.
No judgment.
We don't know what God has put on your heart.
Right. I'm just saying, right. They free on TV, Food Network. Hey, get you one. But so I still, like I said, I think you still have to put yourself in position, and everybody's journey is different.
Yeah,
you know. So.
To that, my journey, 1,000%, I wanted to have a husband, which is insane. Like I really love being a mom, and I feel like I love the call of motherhood. It's been everything to my life, so good. But I wanted to have a husband. I wasn't really concerned about kids. I think I just knew the husband came first. And 1,000%, that was what I wanted. I went to college thinking I would be a nurse. I declared it 3 more times. I wasted about $30,000. I just never could get it. It's just not my thing. But I will tell you, in the 2 years I went to private, small Baptist school, that's where the Lord really called me out of my sin for the first time.
Okay.
He probably tried lots of times before. That was the first time I heard him.
Okay.
That was the first time everything, the scales fell off my eyes. And that was spring break, or no, it was Christmas break after my first semester. And then the next year, all the Lord did was like equip me. So like, even though I wasted $30,000 at that small private Baptist school and I have no degree to show for it, God even used that.
Yeah.
So again, there is no 1 + 2 = 3 in this.
No, it's all over the place.
My biggest call is surrender. Let God move and work, and let Him work in the mess.
I thought I was going to be having 2 parents that, I feel like I saw the blueprint. I was like, that's what my life is going to look like. That's what my life is going to model after, And I always felt like I still feel like I'm a great supporting character, I never saw myself being the lead. I don't like being in the lead. I don't like being in the spotlight. I don't like being the leader. Yeah. I've always liked being the support. You have an idea? Oh, I can help you get it to the top, And that's always been my sweet spot, So to be kind of in essence doing it by myself, then it's like, okay, Lord, this ain't what I had planned, So you're going to have to guide every step. Left foot, right foot.
Right.
Because this is not what I had planned on doing. But, to be the glory, it's moving.
But man, isn't abide the ultimate call? Abide with the Father. So your circumstances, though not picture perfect at all, have taught you what God has called us to abide.
Yep. And that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only thing you can do.
I sure do wish there was a blueprint. I sure do. Can you just tell us, Lord, left, right, forward, backwards, to the left again?
Just let me see about 5 years ahead so I can make sure I'm just at least going, taking the shortest path. Just give me a straight path. I don't want to do all this.
How it works.
Right. That's not life.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. But thankful through it all anyway.
Amen. And thankful to walk with women that I'm like-minded with, and we can feel the feels and deal with
be vulnerable and be honest and understand that it ain't easy.
Right.
Right.
No matter the situation.
Right. It's not going to be a good day every day.
Even if you're at home and you're not cooking for your husband and your house is a mess, even then.
Just put the Dominoes in the oven.
Right.
Take it out that cardboard box and get you like a little pizza stone, and when you put it in the oven, it stay crisp. So at least it be hot and crisp for when they get out of work, girl.
You get a salad from Sam's for like $5, so you have a salad and pizza. Okay, on that note, I think we've given enough practical advice. Wisdom. Thank y'all for hopping in with us.